From running a business, getting married, having 2 kids, then having the pandemic crush my business and all my wealth, and a massive divorce that was brutal and had me hit rock bottom. This is how I went from zero to my first $100,000 and how trading changed my life. Corey here, and welcome to the channel. If it's your first time, be sure to subscribe and tap that bell so you guys know when I post new videos. And if you're feeling generous, you can give me a thumbs up as it greatly helps the channel grow. Don't forget, you guys can sign up to my free newsletter right below this video in the information box, as well as the link right there on the screen. You can sign up for my free newsletter with tips, strategies, trading secrets that I've been using for years to generate lots of passive income. But not only that, the first 100 people to sign up from today's video will get free trade alerts. You guys will get some of my best trade alerts in the coming weeks. You guys can also join the Invest with Corey family right here. Click the join button below the video to join and become an exclusive member and support the channel. So my story is a little bit rough for me to tell, and it's emotional. I hit rock bottom. Things are really, really bad. It was mentally just draining. I was on an all-time low. Everything was really bad for me. So I want to start out in the beginning. You know, I started a business in 2010, and I ran this business. It was involving media and film, and I did this for years and was very successful. I was making really good money at it, but I always wanted more. Not just running a business or being someone who worked for the business or something like that. I really wanted to find myself more of an entrepreneur and working to a higher goal. With me having a child on the way and trying to be more mature with my money, I decided, you know what? I'm going to open a brokerage account and maybe just start investing a little bit of my money here and there. You know, I was making pretty decent money. I was making 6 figures a year. And I figured, you know what? I'll just go ahead and put $5,000 every couple of months in a stock, and I'll just start building a nest egg. So I started doing some research, and this was like summer of 2015, like a few months before my child was born. And so I opened a brokerage account with Ameritrade, TD Ameritrade, which is now Schwab. And I ended up really liking Amazon. And because I used Amazon and was a Prime member, I figured, why not? So I bought 500 shares of Amazon. It was like $25 and change. It cost me like just over $13,000. I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but it was $13,000. And that was like a month's work for me. So I had money saved. I took it out of my savings. I did this because I believed in Amazon, but also I saw the potential I lost from other trades that my coworker had brought to my attention. And I didn't listen to him the year before, and I should have. So I figured with me having a child on the way and my wife and I trying to start a family, it'd be a good idea to start investing and get to learn the ropes of investing in the stock market and stuff like that. So I bought 500 shares of Amazon, but I kind of set it and forget it and didn't think much of it. We had a child on the way. I really had no time to myself. To be honest, I don't think I checked my portfolio for probably 3 or 4 months. I didn't even think about it. This summer, I was really busy with the reveal of my child's gender, with the party we had there. Then, of course, we were preparing for the birth of our child, and I had lots of events and things that I was coordinating with my business, and I was pretty much working 80-hour weeks. So fast forward, my child was born near the end of the year, Christmas, all kinds of events with the family. We had a newborn child. And then going through 2016, I kind of periodically checked my portfolio here or there, maybe like every couple of months. It was not really a prime focus. I really thought that it was going to take 10, 15 years to start growing this portfolio. I really didn't think much of it. And so we fast forward to 2017, and my wife at the time was pregnant with my second child. The business was really stressful at this point. I was working a lot of hours trying to save money, and our bills were racking up, and the income wasn't as good as it was prior because I had less time because we had a 1-year-old child and a child on the way. So I was making less money. She was making less money, but the bills were getting more expensive. So I found myself having even less time. So there was a point in time there where I probably didn't check my portfolio for like 8 months. I even forgot I had it, to be honest, from like summer of 16 until like the winter of 17, February or March. I didn't even check the portfolio. I had no time. I was working like 70, 80 hours a week. We were stressed out, but we were happy to start a new family. Things were still good though, because we were building our family. However, my marriage started getting really rough in summer of 2017. Things just were not going well. So my marriage is like pretty rocky right now. Things are getting really weird in my marriage. And, you know, we're halfway through the pregnancy of my second child. This is like September 2017, maybe August, somewhere around there. And so I went back into my portfolio because I had some money, figured, you know what, now's the time to add a little bit more to my position in Amazon. And I was using Square for my business to accept credit cards. Said, you know what, maybe I'll look up Square, which I did. The share price was like $23 or maybe $23.50, something like that. I bought 200 shares. I just put in like $4,700. I figured this will be a really good addition to the portfolio. It's a company I trust. I use them every day. So I added that position. And, the marriage started getting really bad. And 6 months basically passed me in the blink of an eye. And we were already into Christmas of 2017. And my marriage was completely deteriorated. And then when we had our second child, things started going downhill really fast. Like the marriage was completely eroding at a rapid rate. It was like 100% worse every single day. She was getting violent. It was getting really bad. I had to get my children out of the house. That's not for this video, but I want you guys to understand how bad it was getting. And so we had all kinds of problems, ended up filing for divorce, got my own house somewhere else. We moved, and I'm fighting her on custody. She is just getting drunk all the time. Things are really bad. So my business was suffering because I was dealing with the business, dealing with the divorce, being a father, all of this stuff. The money was going down. I had a new house that I was renting at the time, and I went from owning a house to renting a house, and that was stressful. But all in all, things were just really not good. I was mentally not there. It's heartbreaking to even bring it up because it was like the worst time of my life. And I went from hero to zero real fast. And, there's probably some of you guys maybe that can relate to being in a similar situation to this. It was really rough. And so things started easing up a little bit in the fall of 18 and going into the winter and spring of 19. Things got a little better. I have a great relationship with my children. They're both boys and they're both daddy's boys, especially my oldest one. So always had a great relationship and still do. They're my best buddies in the whole world. Everything I do is for them. So things got better. And as we got closer to the summer of 2019, I was talking with my brother. We were talking about things were starting to smooth out. We're getting closer to the final hearing for my divorce and things were going to be finalized. And I said, you know what? I really want more than this. Like my business was really stressful. So I wanted to go to school. And I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to go to school and get a degree in finance. I've always wanted to do it. I wanted to do it while we were married, but with the business and trying to make my wife happy at the time and pay all the bills, things were extremely stressful. It wasn't something that was even possible. But now I was renting a house. I was taking care of myself and my two boys on my 50-50 custody. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to use all my money from my business. And so my dad and my family also helped me buy a house in 2019. And I was able to move into a much bigger house. It was a lot better than where I was living, too close to my ex-wife anyway. She was spying on me, driving by the house. It was crazy. And my business was doing better than it was in the previous year with the divorce and everything that was going on. In fact, it was the best it had been since 2015 or 2016. I kind of hit a dip with the children. Things were really bad. And it's really upsetting to talk about this, but 2019, I felt a little bit of a break. New house that was all mine. And my kids got to come over to my house away from all of the nightmare. And I had a pool and we could go swimming and things were better. When I didn't have the kids, I was working endlessly on the business and trying to expand it while going to school, managing time with my children. Things were really stressful, but they were better. So the stress was fine. Fast forward to the end of the year, November, December, I got my divorce decree. It was finalized. The divorce was done. I got pretty much everything I wanted. I did well with the divorce, got 50-50 custody, and she wasn't able to take any more of my assets. I was able to just stop all of that nonsense and move on. It was a win-win for me at the time. Anything that I lost, I cut ties with and moved on. I wanted peace. That's all I wanted was peace. So for the first time in 3 years or 2.5 years, things were good. I was just having to worry about paying the bills, running the business, taking care of my boys and going to school. And I was already in school now at this point for 6 months, but things were good nonetheless. They were really good. However, things really turned for the worse. I'm not even a year through college at this point. In February of 2020, I noticed in my business, I had a lot of cancellations of events and a lot of contracts were canceled. People were getting sick. And it was really weird because I got really ill for 2 weeks and had to cancel events and had to cancel contracts and things were really bad. Like a lot of people were just randomly getting sick. I didn't think much of it. And then fast forward a month later, I had lost 30% of my contracts for the year. I lost like 35 grand in a month. And then COVID-19. And it's really heartbreaking because I spent from 2009 until 2019 in this business. It was my baby. Besides my children, it was my baby. And I lost literally every dollar I had made in a year and a half was gone in 3 weeks. Social distancing literally beheaded my business. I lost it all. I've got 2 boys. I just went through a divorce and spent $150,000 on a divorce. I bought a new house and now my business is done. I have absolutely nothing. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, my 2 boys are counting on me. Like, this is very upsetting. Like, it was really bad. Like, really bad. Like, I need a minute. 11 years of everything that I had worked hard for, gone. Gone. I had nothing. I had to refund all the contracts because you can't keep their money. I had to refund everything and pretty much cancel the whole year. So in a matter of 3 weeks, it killed a year and a half of my business. I was dead in the water. Dead to rights, gone. The business is over. So I'm sitting and talking to my brother. My emotions are crazy at this point because I'm done. I'm not gonna be able to pay my mortgage, my cars, nothing. I had a Shelby GT350. I had a couple of Hellcats. My business was good. And I was going to sell these cars anyway, which I did because I wanted to invest, but I ended up selling them and losing all the money to trying to stop from sinking. And so I lost a lot of money in the pandemic. The business completely defunct in the pandemic. In April and May, this was 2 months later, I was pretty much bankrupt at rock bottom. I went from a hero to my kids to zero. And it's not a good feeling. And this is really tough. So I need a minute. This is heartbreaking to go. I don't even want to think about this, but I want you guys to understand what I went through. This wasn't easy for me. It was really rough. I told my brother that in April of 2020, this was end of April, beginning of May, I just told him, I said, look, I don't know what to do. I'm done. It's over. I lost everything. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose everything. So my brother was like, why don't you just sell your equipment? The business is gone. We don't know how long this is going to take. This pandemic could be 6 months. It could be 5 years. We don't know. You've got 20 grand worth of equipment. Maybe you should sell it, but I didn't want to do that. So I still have a few $1,000s after paying my mortgage and my insurance, phone bill, stuff like that, food. Still have a few more $1,000s. I have enough to go another month or so. So we're talking in July, and I told him, I said, I have 1 month of money left to go, and I'm pretty much going to be bankrupt in about a month. And we were talking about it. So at this point in time, I accepted the fact that I was defeated. There was nothing left for me, and there was no way to recoup my business. None of this. It was just a lost cause. So my brother and I were talking in July of 2020. At this point, I was pretty much bankrupt. I only had a few $1,000s left. He had said, hey, you bought a couple of hundred shares of Square. You told me about that, and you said that Amazon was $48 a share, and they'd went up a little bit since then. Maybe you should just cash out your $26,000 or $27,000 from Amazon and just use that to live for a few months, and then just leave Square in there and ride it out and see what happens. But at least that $20-something thousand will get you through 5-6 months of living till you figure something out. And I told him, I said, you know what? That's a good idea. You're right. It was the only hope I had. I was going to build a nest egg for my family. And I told him, I said, that was there for my children and me, later on for retirement, to build wealth for the future. And now I have to cash the one last thing that I have completely out. And I was really demoralized over that, heartbroken. And I told him, you're right. I'm going to have no choice. So I logged into my brokerage account and I was like, I'm going to have to cash all of this out. I had the mentality. I had to mentally prepare myself that I was going to do this. And it was heartbreaking. I'm going to go in there and cash out everything. All my hard work of 10 years is there. I'm going to cash it out, blow it on bills just to survive. And then what? What do I do after that? It's all gone. All dreams gone, business gone, everything. And so I logged into my brokerage account and I could not believe what I saw. I wasn't following the stock market. I was in college for finance, studying psychology, dealing with a divorce and my kids. I wasn't paying attention to the portfolio. And as exciting as 500 shares is, 13,000 or 26,000, I'm talking about my life here. My ex-wife, my children, my business of 11 years down the drain, a 6-figure job, gone, my whole life in the toilet, rock bottom. I didn't give a crap about 13 grand or even 30 grand. It wasn't a thought in my mind. That's not going to solve my problems. It's not going to make my marriage better. It's not going to make my divorce easier. It's not going to do anything. So I never really checked it or cared about it. I really didn't care about the portfolio or check it till my brother brought it up. But it was like a miracle. I don't want to get religious, but I just believe it was a good sign and a new beginning for me. When I logged in my portfolio, I felt like it was a miracle. My hands were shaking. I literally could not believe what I saw in the portfolio. There was $85,000 in my Amazon position. I was like, there's no way, something's got to be wrong. Wait, what? I didn't understand this because I wasn't following the market like an active trader or an investor. It was very passive. I was in college. I wasn't really in a position with time to even watch the market. I could not believe it. I didn't understand what was happening in the market. I had no understanding of it, how it inflated because of the pandemic. So I'm sitting here looking at Amazon at $170-something a share. It was just mind-blowing. $85,000 was the position size. I brought my brother over and he said, cash it out. You never know how long this is going to last. I didn't think twice. I sold it. Now you got to remember, I had 200 shares of Square that cost me just under $5,000. And so I held on to that. I did not sell that. I had $85,000. So I took my brother up on his offer. I sold $30,000 worth of my equipment. It is a little bit less. It was like 28,000 and change. Paid all my bills for 6 months and said, you know what? I feel like God gave me a second chance here. For the first time in my life, I felt like something went my way. It was the happiest moment I had had since the birth of my 2 children. I realized I had done something right. Something worked for me. 0 to 85 grand after everything I had been through. Like, it's so emotional. Like right now, it is very tough. For that particular moment, I had freedom. Like I don't even know what to say. Like, there was nothing to worry about. I'm going to sell my equipment for $30,000, whatever I can get for it. Like I said, I ended up getting $28,000. Sold it all. And I paid my mortgage and all my bills for 5 months. And I put it away and I set aside a plan. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to school, take care of my kids. The divorce was over with. And I'm going to study the stock market. And I'm going to trade with this $85,000. I'm going to learn how to be profitable. I started trading with the $85,000 and lost 2 or 3 grand real quick. I said, this is not going to happen. So I started studying real hard week in and week out and found a strategy that started working, selling puts, selling covered calls. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go to school. I'm going to trade. And all I'm going to do is trade school children. Trade school children. Fast forward to February 2021, and my Square or Block 200 shares are priced at $282 a share. I'm watching this like a hawk because I could not believe how much money I've made in Square. And I left some profit on the table with Amazon, but I wasn't worried about that. At this point, I had 6 months of active trading every day, and I was over a year in college. It was in my second year of my degree. So I really understood the market a lot better than I originally did before. And so I was watching, and Square started to come down. It ended up coming way down to like 250. So I got out. $4,700 investment, cashed out for over $50,000. I got into Square at $23.80, like we'll say $24, and I got out right at $252 a share. I think it was like $252.30 or something like that, but we'll just say $252. $4,700 to $50,000. Now, from July of 2020 until February of 2021, where I started to learn trading and learn the strategies that worked, I made over $45,000 on the $85,000 trading. So with Square or Block being sold, it was Square at the time. When I sold Square with the money I made trading on the $85,000 from Amazon, my account had like over $170,000. So at this point, I'm good. I didn't have a bill due for 3 more months. I got $170,000. So what I did was I started selling covered calls, building my strategy, selling puts to get in. What really did it for me was selling aggressive puts and buying calls, which I really don't do a lot of the time, but I got really aggressive with Tesla and Amazon and made some pretty decent money. I was able to get like a 40% portfolio return by the end of the year. I was well into $300,000 a year later. So that's how I made my money. And I just decided at the end of 2021, after I broke over $250,000, there was going to be no more buying strategies, really. I was just going to sell. And with the inflation of the 2021 economy, I was really able to buckle down and really make some decent profits. It paid for school. It started paying the mortgage, and I was able to buy a new truck, pay it off. And within a year, school was completely paid. So fast forward to summer 2022, and I was able to take my $170,000 portfolio and turn it into $300,000. And this is even after paying all my bills. And so my brother and I were having a conversation about how life is really weird. It's just very strange how I went from being rock bottom, no hope, to realizing there was $85,000 in my account, that I had made one right move during my marriage by putting $13,000 into Amazon. And a couple years later, putting just $4,000 into Square saved my whole life. $18,000 over a 2-year period saved me. Completely saved me. Trading saved my life. It changed my life, and it saved it for me and my children, everything. And I thank my brother for all of his support, my dad for his support, my very strong family, my 2 boys for giving me the courage and the strength to go through the roughest time of my life. And then fast forward another year, I graduated. I was making consistent profits. I thought about all the struggles I went through. My friend went through a divorce. My brother went through a divorce, believe it or not. And I said, you know what? This isn't right. I want to help people. You know, my portfolio at this point was like, I had grown it from 170 to 300 to 500. Like, I'm approaching like 7 figures pretty quickly. I really wanted to help people. There's so many people that struggle. When I graduated and got my degree, I decided, you know what? There's a lot of businesses that I saw that sunk because of the pandemic. And not only that, a lot of friends of mine got divorced divorced. People that I knew got divorced. My brother got divorced, and it was really sad. And so I decided, you know what? I graduated, got my degree. I'm profitable. Not only do I want to help by giving money to charity and the Homeless Veterans Association, but I wanted to help other people in my situation that maybe you guys caught a divorce and maybe you have kids and you want financial freedom. And I want to be able to help other people not make the same mistakes that I made that made me feel like a failure and made me hit rock bottom. So I'm enrolled in my first year of law school, and I'm in 1L Law studying. You know, money's all well and good. Money is great. It helps you stabilize your life. It gives you the things that you want, but there's more to life than just money. And I realized that with success, that it was the journey that I'll never forget. My brother, my family, my kids, the divorce, the ups and the downs, the connection that I have with you guys, teaching. This is more important than money. I have money to do the things I want to do. It doesn't make you wholesome like helping other people does. So I want to help people. Money is giving me the freedom to do the things I want to do, which is teach and connect with others and be a great dad and be a great person, get my Juris Doctorate, become a lawyer, which was my mom's dream that she never accomplished. And she's so proud of me of that. That means more to me than the money. I've learned a lot, and it's taught me a lot of humility. I'm not anything special. I'm a nobody. Like, just because I have some money, that doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. My legacy in this life is what I do with my action and how I help other people, how I help you, how I help everyone watching, how I raise my children, and how I treat others. That's what's most important. The money just gave me financial freedom to not stress every day so that I could achieve those things for my life and those goals. And I want to share those with you guys. It was very painful to talk about this to a degree, but I did it because I wanted you guys to understand how I went from zero. It was pretty much 0 to 100K from Amazon and Square, and letting it sit there for 2 years. And it was basically the pandemic's gift to me. So when the pandemic crushed my business, it birthed me a whole new life and gave me a whole new dream, and it made me a better person. So I told myself, I'm going to start a smaller account and start doing some active trading in a smaller account. And I want to start teaching people how they can grow a small account. So I put out a challenge for myself, how I can grow a $1,000 portfolio into $20,000 in less than a year. 6 months later, my portfolio, the small one here, is now $14,000 that I trade in all my videos. And I want to show you guys how to do the exact same thing. I want to show you guys how you can do it. I'm here for you. High five. You guys can do it. I have faith in you, and I'm here to mentor you and help you and guide you on any questions you have and how to get better at it. So I'm sorry if this video was long or if I bored you guys. It was a really rough journey down memory lane for me, but I really wanted to share it with you because anyone who thinks that, oh, I just get rich trading and this was easy, or I'm just rich and got endless money, it's none of that. And so from rock bottom to where I am now, I don't want anyone else to have to go through this. It was miserable seeing someone you love betray you so badly in such a wicked divorce and the children to suffer. Then a pandemic crushed me while I was in college trying to raise my kids and go to divorce, and ended my business. And I just about lost my house and everything I had just bought and everything I owned. I was basically done. And summer 2020, my whole life changed. And I realized I'm going to put the work in now. I doubled down on trading and school, and it changed everything. Trading changed my life. Trading changed everything. From that moment on, I told myself I would not fail again, that I was going to use every moment for opportunity, and worked my butt off. Got my degree, changed my life with trading, and my strategies work so well. And I want to share all of them with you guys. This is what I enjoy doing. So hopefully you guys stick around. You know my story now, and hopefully you guys can relate to it. And I want to help you guys. Thank you so much for being here and listening to my story and the craziness. I really appreciate you guys. Be sure to subscribe, tap the bell if you haven't already. High five. We've been making money, been helping you guys the best I can, and I got a lot more videos coming. Be sure to give me a thumbs up as it greatly helps the channel. And don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter, as you guys will get free trade alerts, tips, strategies, and all kinds of helpful tips over the coming weeks. It's absolutely free. It's there in the information box below and right there on the screen. And remember, guys, high five. Let's grow our wealth together. And no matter what you're going through, you can achieve anything. If you need to reach out to me, Corey at investwithcorey.com. If you're going through a divorce, you're going through a rough time, I'm here to help you. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourself.